All right, so when I was in California, one of the things they said repeatedly was high school for me wasn't that long ago. They had me believing that I was in a telepathic connection with this sex trafficking victim. And then at one point they did have me in a telepathic connection with a sex trafficking victim. She did not seem to be having too much fun with that. Oh God. Anyways, the point of the story is just that so towards the end of it, they put me in what I perceived as a telepathic entanglement with several sex trafficking victims at the same time. And one of them, they had led me to believe this was the woman who was really in your mind the whole time. At one point, they made me believe she was in a laboratory somewhere. Anyways, it was really messed up. And then they made me believe that I was thinking too much because my thoughts were going out to all of them. And so they were complaining about it. And then they were conspiring against one of the others. And they said that they were given military boyfriends and then everything got better. You have to read the book to understand what I'm saying. But at one point, it was, they would make me hear this popping noise. And it was like, they were just dying, and I was seeing them die and shit. And it was something about, well, their situation is too complicated. Anyways, the point of the story is that at one point they said, we had to have sex with that guy and we didn't like it. And they're referring to dread. They all said it in unison. We had to have sex with that guy and we didn't like it. And their voices just, all came together at one point. But anyways, and then they said, he isn't like that in real life, And so what they're doing is establishing a pretense because of the nature of what's going on with the sex trafficking business making its way into porn. Because, see, what they're doing is they're placing ads in magazines and stuff, and then the women respond to the ad, and then they go and they tell them that they're going to be a model. It's really brazen because it raises a lot of questions, because if you're putting a magazine ad out there that says be a model, and it was the third largest porn company on Pornhub, and they went on like this for years. Does this seem suspicious to you? Okay, it's more than just a company getting away with it. It's being allowed to happen. Okay, and so the aliens, being that it's so systemic and that it involves, because this is what they do. This is what they did in Egypt. It's look, there's the victim. You see what I'm saying? Now watch how I get about that. You see what I mean? And it's just they're being a little bit crazier than they were in Egypt, because they aren't even saying it. You know what I mean? They're not, as they did in Egypt, they said, this is what we want, and then we're going to do this if you don't fix it. Even though they did say that they hardened Pharaoh's heart, so that means it's kind of sick in and of itself. But I won't call it sick, but that's what worked. But the point of the story is that in this case, they aren't telling us what they're going to do. And they're not even really saying why they're mad. They're more, portraying themselves as totally insane. You know what I mean? Almost like a whirlwind of demonic energy. You know what I mean? It's like, look at me over this. I'm a whirlwind of demonic energy. So either way, just that's a big deal. I didn't want to just put that in writing. I wanted to make a video about it because that's establishing pretense for something. So that's big. So.